Mayhem hit me with a tier 1 sub. Jeez. Hot right off the bat. Thank you. I'll properly thank you in just a moment. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Monday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Monday evening. Coming in hot, Mayhem Hippie with the Prime sub for a 5 months streak. Thank you so much. Immediately. Maple Leaf Dragon, how's it going? Have you ever considered taking a break and indulging in some simple lies all the time? All the time. That's all I think about. Let me make sure we got everything going. Doing my share by feeding the streaming video beast. I appreciate that. Port sides, oh my god. At the Minority Report. There we go. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what I'm going to label my stream from now on. From now on, my stream is going to be called the Minority Report. As a, like, kind of like a layered joke in there somewhere. Not yet subscribed to a Crave? Crave Canadian service? What? To catch up on some Star Trek. Nice. Nice. That is what, you would call poggers. I think. Be right here, just stuck in a late meeting. It's okay. It's okay. I appreciate the support, Mayhem Hippie. No worries on that. I was a little bit late myself. Just getting wrapped up with work too. I don't think you're a beast, but I will feed you from time to time. I appreciate that. Your viewership and eyeballs help a lot. There's a new one, Beyond Worlds with Josh Peck as Spock. What? I don't know about that one. I mean, maybe. I'll have to watch. I'm open to watching it. We have a few things to go through, so I guess I should start. Look up Josh Peck. Do not search Drake Bell. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm aware of the controversies. Drake Bell is, yikes. Mayhem Hippie, Maple Leaf Dragon, with 1,000 biddies and 150 biddies. Jesus, this very minute. On the precipice of kicking off a hype train. Already. My goodness. So we had a tier 1 sub from Mayhem Hippie. Maple Leaf Dragon dropping 1,000 biddies. Mayhem Hippie with the other 150. Whew. We are very close, folks. We are on the precipice of a choo-choo train. Alio with a 10 biddies. That is close, folks. We are so close. Kicking off this stream with almost a hype train already. My goodness. What's that Kylo Ren meme? More! That's right. Hold on. I'll show you. I would, but mine won't count. Maple Leaf Dragon resubscribing with a tier 1 sub. Choo choo? Can we get a choo choo? We're so close, ladies and gentlemen. Gauss Pals and M Pals are almost there. I think it has to be a separate person. I think that's how that works. We have to, yeah. Yeah, it does. Okay, so I get it. All right. A separate person can actually kick it off. Let me see here. That's so strange. The chairman has to be a minimum of 100 for biddies for that third person. I see. So if a third person that has biddies lying around or another gifted... Wait. Can it be another gifted sub? I don't know how this works. Oh, it can? Okay. Yeah, or an Amazon Prime sub. There you go. Free. Easy peasy. There we go. There you go. All right, we need to start things off here.
He knows, he has insight, would ever need an abortion.
Imagine what would happen if a little girl went to a clinic and they denied her. And then the left went, look at what's happening. That would have been a powerful, powerful smack in the face of what was happening with these bills, with these heartbeat bills. There's a reason why they didn't try. Because the greater possibility was...
I want solar panels on my home with their two...
Really?
Medical exemption. There's no rape kit. There were no criminal charges. Not until now. Why didn't anyone, knowing this girl, report this? This is why I say, ladies and gentlemen...
I mean, like, all of this is gobbledygook. You're going to use your 10-year-old daughter and in some type of like political stunt? People thought everything else, he just assumes he knows, even though this guy's range of experiences have been so limited. And then just says like, oh, this is what a parent would do with a 10-year-old who I am 70% in danger of losing my life if I maintain this baby. That's not the way it works. Continue.
There's no rape kit. There were no criminal charges. Not until now.
Okay,
Why
I'm
didn't
sorry.
anyone, knowing this girl, report?
Just pause it for 1 second. You don't need a rape kit for a 10-year-old who's pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah. First of all,
A doctor who provided medical services to a child after she was violently abused is facing criminal indictment after it turns out she may have obfuscated severe abuse, and under Indiana law, she may be criminally liable. The story you may have heard. I'm trying to be delicate in my language for the sake of families, individuals who may be listening to my podcast with younger people around, but it's a truly brutal story, so just so you've been warned. A young girl, as the viral story claimed, was impregnated, a 10-year-old girl, as it were. She sought medical emergency treatments in Indiana because in Ohio, they passed a heartbeat bill, which typically bans abortion after 6 weeks. In Indiana, the girl received treatment, and the story went viral. Evidence was scant. There were no criminal charges. Almost no information had been filed about what really happened. Many people questioned this. Then it turned out the story was true, but the story is absolutely creepy. While the little girl does exist, the story itself appears to be orchestrated for political gain.
Truly what you can expect from the mind of Tim Pool. Yeah.
Now, I refrain from reporting on the viral claims of the left because, well, I need evidence before I can say something is true or isn't, and there's not much I can say about something that's an unfounded internet rumor. But when it turned out there was, in fact, a little girl who received this emergency medical service, and that's what
he's talking about abortion.
It was. Well, then many on the left said we were right, the right was wrong, and they tried to hide the fact that women need these treatments, these services, or little girls in this instance. But here's where it gets damning. Under Ohio law, the little girl would not have been denied emergency medical services. And this is outlined in a statement from the Ohio Attorney General released not that long ago, breaking down what the law actually says. So why is it that this little girl did not receive the emergency medical treatment she required in Ohio?
Because it was banned.
Why did they not try to get the treatment, the procedure done in Ohio? Well, I don't know. But I do believe, one.
What a Weasley little liar. What a Weasley little liar. Only people who sold their perverted souls would use a little girl for a political gain. Yeah, what does the law actually state? As of mid-July, according to the law, the ban does not apply to pregnant people no matter the length of their pregnancy, if and when physicians believe an abortion would prevent the death or serious physical harm to those. I see. Okay. So apparently, no, I don't think she could. As I understand it, she could not have actually gotten this abortion.
If they did in Ohio and were denied, it would have been politically more advantageous for them. But I think when you look at the law as it stands, they decided to go to Indiana without filing a report because they wanted the political play. I believe they sat on information about the criminal in question so that the right would be drawn into a trap, calling it out as a potential hoax, and then being smeared when they say, see, look, the little girl actually exists. But questions are arising now with the Republican Attorney General in Indiana saying, why was this not properly reported? The Washington Post says it was, in fact, properly reported. Fox News reports, in fact, the perpetrator, who is 27 years old, is being listed as 17 by the doctor in Indiana. Now, they may argue she may have made a mistake and just assumed that was true. But it doesn't really matter, does it? The question the AG has is, how did this person not come to justice? Why was there not more information given? Why was the information incorrect? And we need an investigation, meaning this abortionist could be criminally charged. Now, I want to point out something funny and strange.
Abortionist?
Abortionist is an old term. I looked it up. It goes back to 1844. I mean, abortion's been around for a while. And a person who provides abortion is an abortionist. Yet it's considered today to be improper to say. That is derogatory. I believe it was the AP. One of these outlets said, don't use the term. It is offensive. I don't care what you think is offensive or not.
It's not offensive. It's just incorrect. But okay, whatever. The whole point of using that terminology is to give a negative connotation. That's the whole point. Okay. Of course, Poole thinks calling out the barbarism of the whole situation is political manipulation. Right. I mean, what he's trying to do is political manipulation.
It's a term that describes a person who does a thing. And this abortionist out of Indiana may be criminally charged. But let's start with the first story, and that is what's happening with the AG. Before we do get started, head over to timcast.com, become a member to support our work as a member. No. You'll get access to exclusive segments from the Timcast Uncensored After Show Monday through Thursday at 11 p.m. We had a really great week. Monday, probably the funniest show. So if you go to timcast.com and click members only, it will bring you to the full roster of all of our after hours uncensored show. Dave Landau, the comedian, was on Monday with Jamie Kilstein, and it was hilarious. Definitely want to check that out. And you're supporting our expansion in creating culture, trying new things, hiring our journalists, calling out the lives on mainstream media, supporting videos like this. So if you want to help us out, timcast.com. But don't forget, you can also just smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show with your friends. Now, let's get into that first story. Politico reports. Republican AG says he'll investigate Indiana doctor who provided care to the victim in question. The account about the girl has sparked intense dialogue in Washington, with some questioning its validity. Politico says, Indiana's Republican Attorney General said on Wednesday that his office planned to investigate the Indiana doctor who helped a
Yeah, I hate this framing. And some question its validity. Well, no. Those people would be wrong. Well, he does wear a thick hat to keep his soul from escaping. True. Fritz Farting Shaft, thank you for the follow.
A victim who crossed state lines to have an abortion. Dr. Caitlin Bernard, an obstetrician gynecologist in Indianapolis, has told multiple outlets that she provided care to the 10-year-old after a child abuse doctor in Ohio contacted her.
That's right.
The child was 6 weeks and 3 days into the pregnancy, Bernard said. After the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade last month, a wave of state-level abortion restrictions took effect, including in Ohio, a state that bans abortion after about 6 weeks of pregnancy with no exceptions for rape or incest.
Correct.
Abortion in Indiana is banned after 22 weeks of pregnancy with some exceptions for medical emergencies. Pause. Politico. Why did you not include there is a medical exception to the rule? Why did you not include that this girl would fall under that medical exception?
No, because there isn't. Because there wasn't an exception. Crucially, according to more reporting, the child was 6 weeks pregnant, which was the cutoff date. It would have been at the upper end of Ohio's legal limit. The law provides no exceptions for rape and incest. The only exception beyond the point of 6 weeks is to prevent the patient's death or serious risk of substantial or irreversible impairment of a major bodily function. That's it. Okay? This literally makes me sick. Why is this even up for debate? This little girl was raped and impregnated, and end of effing story. Yeah, that's the end of the story. Mayhem hippie. That's the end of it.
No questions. It's because it's political.
It's not
Quote,
political.
wait,
Actually, hold on. Yeah, it kind of is political, Tim. Wait. Yes, the Republican Party made it so. It was their laws. And the only way laws get passed are through the political landscape. Yeah, the only reason we find ourselves in this situation where a 10-year-old is forced to go to another state to obtain an abortion is because they made it political. It's because they made the Supreme Court political. They made it so. That's the problem. They made it so. Trying to make it political. Fuck you.
As we speak, and we're going to fight this to the end, including looking at her licensure if she failed to report. And in Indiana, it's a crime to intentionally not report.
Which the doctor did report it. And like the most disgusting part about this is like Republicans are too busy talking about everything from, I don't know if there's enough evidence, I don't know, this story's fishy, to, that was Representative Jim Jordan, by the way, who attempted to signal boost the Washington Examiner, questioning the validity of this story. We've got Republicans and conservatives talking about illegal immigration, and then we've got Republicans and conservatives talking about investigating the doctor when the doctor did everything right. Like anything to avoid talking about the 10-year-old rape victim. Anything to avoid talking about that. And Tim Pool, of course, is adding to that because Tim Pool is actually far right.
Someone under the age of 16 or under the age of 18, or really any woman, is having abortion in our state. And then if a child is being abused, of course, parents need to know, authorities need to know, public policy experts need to know. There are strict reporting requirements in both Ohio and Indiana for abortions and rape allegations. Rokita doubled down on his threats of criminal charges in a letter dated Wednesday, but released publicly on Thursday. The letter to Governor Eric Holcomb, Republican, called for records from the Indiana Department of Public Health and Department of Child Services to determine whether Bernard filed a report within the required 3-day window. Here's what we know so far. The Washington Post says she did report. Fox News says she reported the individual, the perpetrator, as a minor, which is very strange, which would change the nature of the crime committed. An illegal immigrant, 27 years old, committed the crime. Why was it wrong? I think this plays into the hoax narrative.
What?
They could have just gotten the treatment done in Ohio, but they didn't.
What? Bro, the guy could have been 18 or 20 or 27. It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is a 10-year-old was raped. That's it. That's the problem here, Tim.
Weren't denied, it seems. They were just referred out. There could have been an exception made, and it would have been good for Republicans, which is why I think they refused to do it. If, in Ohio, the doctor went to the government and said, look, here's what's happening, or if the doctor just went along with this.
Wait, why is this even a question? Why is this even a point of contention? Okay? First of all, that's not what the law says. Tim is blatantly lying to you. Tim Pool is blatantly lying. The law does not have any exceptions after 6 weeks and above, which the little girl was at 6 weeks. The only exception was for medical emergencies, which you have to prove that, to prevent death, serious risk of the substantial and irreversible impairment or of a major bodily function. You would have to prove that and wait and have that approved. No. No, she had to go out of state.
The Republicans would absolutely say this is the kind of thing we're talking about. We accept these exceptions and we want to protect little girls who have been abused. That would not have worked for the Democrats. It would have favored the Republican narrative that they do allow emergency treatments in extreme cases and in cases of child abuse.
But that's not how it works.
But they decided just to leave the state, make a big story about it, and not explain what's going on. This is why I say it's a hoax. The doctor just made the mistake of incorrectly reporting the age of the man in question. Something doesn't add up. Now, you can argue it's all gross incompetence across the board, but why not just get the procedure done in Ohio? Why not make it a big political argument if they were denied, which they weren't? Because politics. At least in my opinion, I could be wrong. I don't know. That's what I see here.
Then asshole. Hey, if you don't know, then don't talk about it. Jesus Christ. The narrative is that they absolutely don't allow exemptions within literally the GOP narrative. Correct. Right. Correct. And the Ohio law does not have any exceptions for rape or incest. The only exemption that you have to prove, and then you have to wait, and then you have to go through programs to discourage the procedure is under a medical emergency. But what does that mean? That could have been easily, that doesn't mean that she was guaranteed treatment, that she was guaranteed the right to an abortion. What he's not saying is that the parents did call the clinics in Ohio. That's freaking gross. What a Weasley little liar.
If Dr. Bernard has failed to file the required reports on time, she has committed an offense, the consequences of which could include criminal prosecution and licensing repercussions. Ohio's Republican Attorney General Dave Yost said on Fox News on Monday there was no evidence of a report being filed for the 10-year-old's case, though based on the felony complaint, a police report was generated in late June for the abuse of the child. The account about the young girl has garnered national attention amid the fall of the constitutional right to abortion in the U.S. and has become a key focus of the abortion debate. The account sparked intense dialogue in Washington, with some questioning the story's validity, particularly after President Joe Biden cited the episode last week.
Yeah, some people question the validity of the story. Those people would be wrong. Even in states like New York and Vermont, they still have to go through discouragement bullshit, even for ectopic and non-viable pregnancies. Correct. That's exactly what I just said. Yes, correct. They have to go through programs, and then they have to wait 24 hours, and then they are subject to nonsense, whatever, BS that they want to put forth, like roadblock after roadblock after roadblock. Why couldn't he say rape? He's probably doing it for the YouTube algorithm because that's all he cares about. The only thing that he cares about is how big the money and revenue is going to be on each video. That's it. This is like the quartering kind of level that we're dealing with. The quartering level of grifting. What does Tim avoid? Yeah. That's why, memo for the record. He avoids saying rape because he is concerned with how much money that video is going to make. And to make sure that he gets that green check mark for monetization, he will change his language and make sure that it is optimized for YouTube. It's a sad thought, but that's just the way these people operate, unfortunately. I think he just lied again. He seemed to imply that Indiana doctor would need to report to Ohio, so he's all over the place. Yeah, he said himself he doesn't know, which is unbelievable to me that he would actually start talking about something and then say he doesn't know, he could be wrong. Bro, if you don't know, then don't. Why are you making such strong statements on this?
While slamming the court's decision and
calling it a hoax, or potentially making the implication that something isn't adding up and therefore you should just disregard this and think of it only as a political football, when in reality this is a story about a 10-year-old who was raped, and Republican legislation forced this girl to have to seek treatment out of state who had to seek an abortion out of state. That's the story. That's it. There's nothing more to that. Republicans are responsible for this. Republicans are pro-rape. Republicans have no problems with children who have been abused. In fact, like I said, they rarely do they try to make exceptions for rape or incest. I mean, Republicans, that's what they want. That's what they want.
A major speech on abortion policy. She was forced to have to travel out of state to Indiana to seek to terminate the pregnancy and maybe save her life. Biden said in remarks, 10 years old, 6 weeks pregnant, already traumatized, was forced to travel to another state. Convenient, isn't it? It's convenient Joe Biden gets to say that because they did not get the treatment done in Ohio.
Oh, okay. Just because you don't like the fact that this is a direct result of Republicans being in power and you can't muster up the political, you can't muster the principled, correct, and right positions and be truthful for once. You can't muster that because you need to grift and you need to worry about how much money you're going to make out of your right-wing audience. You don't have, yes, Maple Leaf Dragon, the fortitude to be principled and to actually just say the truth and just say the story how it is. You don't have the principle. You don't have the fortitude. You are a political hack who seems to only care about the numbers in the bank account and will do anything and everything up to and including using a 10-year-old rape victim to do so. That is Tim Pool. That is the Republican Party. That is who they are. That is who they are. The same thing, and Tim Pool is not special. The whole entire conservative narrative has been like this for this story.
Now, I know the argument could be that the doctor in Ohio says, I won't do it because of the law. Why didn't the doctor even try to just say, we have...
That's exactly what happened. They couldn't get it in Ohio because there's literally no exceptions. And what, you're going to just force this little girl to go through more hoops and more trauma and figure out maybe possibly and go through a bunch of different... No, fuck that. The law in Ohio is very clear. The law in Ohio is very clear. If it's past 6 weeks, if it's 6 weeks and above, the only exception are a dire medical emergency that would threaten your life. Or great bodily harm or something like that was the only exception. I love that word. Yeah, it's a good one.
To do this. Why didn't they try fighting the law in Ohio? It doesn't add up. Laziness? Ignorance, maybe? In my opinion, based on the misreporting of the criminal involved, I think this was a hoax. Now, Dr. Kate...
I think this was a hoax. When you use that word, the implication means that the story is BS. This is a gross leap in logic. And the point is to poison the well. That's the idea. The idea is to poison the well and to be like, so anyways, you don't need to think about any of this. In fact, you can disregard this entire story. That's the idea of this. That's what he's trying to do. He's trying to make it go away.
Caitlin Bernard might sue Indiana AG Todd Rokita for defamation. That's absurd. I really don't think that will go anywhere. Now, I don't know what Dr. Caitlin Bernard's intentions were, and it's possible that when the case was referred to this doctor, she didn't know who the perpetrator was, and she was given the age of 17. Here's the story from Fox News. Ohio 10-year-old's alleged perpetrator was listed as a minor in abortionist's report to state. No, hold on. Was this the Ohio doctor or the Indiana doctor? The Indiana doctor. Dr. Caitlin Bernard reported.
It doesn't matter. Echo Wrestler Dragon, how's it going?
That the alleged perpetrator was approximately 17 years old in an official filing to the Indiana Department of Health obtained Thursday by Fox News Digital. On Wednesday, Ohio authorities charged 27-year-old Gerson Fuentes, an illegal immigrant, with the crime in question on a minor under 13 years old. I'm trying to be delicate with the language, so... I'm trying to earn my YouTube bucks, so I'm being delicate with the with the language here.
I actually think Tim wanted to go down that route. He mentioned the 22 weeks great harm exception, and he said, see, there is an exception. He was about to argue that the girl should have been kept like that until she was 22 weeks / near death. Then he either got lost in his own poor speaking skills or actually stopped himself. I don't know. It's clear that the only thing he cares about is how much abuse he gets. That's what he cares about. Actually, it's a story which can garner a lot of attention. He's milking it for all it's worth. Yeah, that's the point. The point is money. But he doesn't give a shit about any of this. He doesn't give a shit about the girl. What is this fool saying? He's trying to create a illusion that the story about the 10-year-old girl has some potentially dubious elements to it, and therefore maybe there's some political undertones behind it, and therefore you can just disregard the story. That's what he's trying to paint the picture.
Fuentes confessed to the crime to Columbus Police Department investigators. Ohio Attorney General Dave Yoss said in a statement Wednesday. However, the 10-year-old's mother said her daughter was fine, and everything they say about Gerson is a lie. When confronted Thursday by a Telemundo reporter.
Let's see if this is the same clip.
A 10-year-old who's pregnant. You don't need a rape kit. A 10-year-old cannot consent to sex. So they have been raped. A 10-year-old cannot consent to sex. So that is what you don't... there's no...
Definitionally.
I mean, you psycho, right? Like these all... They want to give credence to QAnon types. Protect the children. Protect the children. Protect this child. But I guess it doesn't matter because, it doesn't fit their political agenda. And I'm sorry, you talked about the coupon there earlier. The rape and... incest exemption for Republicans is like a get out of jail free card for them for the actual dealing with the brutality of what they are proposing. Tim Pool is able to fall back on that.
This is why I say, ladies and gentlemen, I do believe it is a hoax. Now, as to my previous statements, I want to make sure I clarify. I don't like the vague natures of this. There is a possibility that a little girl, a family might say, we go to the hospital and we seek an abortion and they don't give it to you. Well, that's it. It's over. You're done. You will carry it and they will not let you leave. And then what do we do? That's possible. And that's the kind of thing we need to be careful about. But I will say the opportunity for the left here was the PR move, which says to me, I think it's a hoax. I think it is a hoax in the sense, and I love the left is going to freak out saying it really happened. I know it really happened. I mean, we've got it here. We've got the guy being criminally charged. Lock him up, throw away the key, boot him out of the country, whatever. Illegal immigrant who did this.
Yeah, the language here is obvious what he's trying to do here. Yeah, they're pro-birthers. That's correct. They're going to make me punch the screen. Yeah, what WTF fakes this kind of stuff? No. This is a attempt to just essentially discredit and minimize the impact of the implication of Republican policy. That's it. He's running cover for them. That's really it. That's it. He's running cover for them, and he likes to check his bank account and make sure it's full.
This poor child. But I think the left is manufacturing and manipulating the circumstances to create a political story, because they probably would have gotten the services under the medical exemption.
No.
And if they didn't, it would have resulted in the AG coming out and saying this is wrong and we're going to make sure she gets the medical services she needs and all of that stuff. This is the game the left plays.
Yes, he somehow manages to blame the left because they didn't fully realize the PR potential of using this child in the way that he's using this child. It's just sick and twisted. But do not kid yourself. Tim Pool has arguably a political agenda, certainly espouses a political agenda because it's good for his YouTube numbers. Period. End of story.
That's where it begins and ends.
The alleged crime made headlines early this month after Bernard told the Indy Star on July 1st she had performed the abortion on a young victim who she said was forced to cross state lines from Ohio. So this we know. It's possible Caitlin Bernard was just given bunk information by the family. And it seems like the family is trying to defend this criminal So I don't know.
How?
How does this happen is the question. And I really just do not believe them. I do not believe them. Of course, the Republicans don't want to be in this position right now. Of course they don't. Why are they? Because for some reason, a medical exception was not sought after.
That's not true.
Ohio Attorney General Dave Yost says, the Ohio Attorney General's office issued the following legal explainer regarding their exceptions on the heartbeat law.
That's not true. I found 2 videos with Lindell and Jenna Ellis, and one video where Mike Lindell is insulting his My Coffee marketing team. What? Hold on, folks. Give me one moment. I have 10-pound free weights I use to burn off stress for crap like this. Yeah. Thanks, Tim Pool.
They say, Ohio's heartbeat law appears in section 2919.
Hi, this is Governor Ron.
Jesus Christ. Fuck this guy.
2919-1910 of Ohio Revised Code. The relevant part of Ohio's heartbeat law appears in the section, blah, 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 blah. There is no gestational time limit in Ohio's heartbeat law. But hold on. They said it bans it after 6 weeks. The AG says that's not true. The statute contains 3 exceptions, though they are not labeled as such. 1, to prevent the death of the mother. The second, due to a serious risk of the substantial and irreversible impairment of a major bodily function. And third, the case of ectopic pregnancy.
Yeah. I'm still waiting on that 49 state landslide. Yeah, Ron DeSantis jump scare, I'm telling you. The coffee video is hilarious. I've been laughing for 25 minutes. That's funny.
So there's no time limit. This is why I'm saying it's a hoax.
No, that's
you
not
tell
true.
Me that they said the girl was six weeks and 3 days. Oh, it was too late. But the law literally does not have a time limit. It also says there was a medical emergency. They said, a condition that in the physician's good faith medical judgment, based upon the facts known to the physician at the time, so complicates the woman's pregnancy as to necessitate the immediate performance or inducement of an abortion in order to prevent death of the pregnant woman or to avoid a serious risk of the substantial and irreversible impairment of major bodily function of the pregnant woman that delay in the performance or inducement of the abortion would create. That's what kind of tongue-tied me. I apologize for pulling the Biden. Let me read that again. Okay. To avoid a serious risk of the substantial and irreversible impairment of a major bodily function of the pregnant woman that delay in the performance or inducement of the abortion would create. Okay. The italicized language is crucial
Hold on,
as another
folks.
provision.
Sorry about that, folks. We had to evict a spider. Sorry about that.
The serious risk of the substantial and irreversible impairment of a major bodily function.
Correct. None of these 3 were met. That's the point. Literally none of that was, or at least there could be an argument for making the case that it didn't meet these exceptions, right? No, I'm not going to kill the spider. I evicted it.
All right, that legalese is getting me all jumbled up. You get the point. The main takeaway here is there was no time limit. She was able to get the procedure.
That's not true.
A hoax.
It's not a hoax,
right?
No,
that's what it seems.
No, it's not. It's not a hoax. That's not what that word means. I could have offered rent control. That's true. I wasn't considerate enough. It can stay, just not here. Okay. If memory serves, a zygote doesn't actually have a heart at 6 weeks. It doesn't. It's a misconception. It is not based on biological reality. Yeah, the fetus, zygote, whatever you want to call it, the proper terminology. Insert proper terminology here. It is actually not a heart or a heartbeat necessarily. You're correct. Spiders make good roommates. Sometimes, depending on the spider. I prefer them to eat the bugs outside. A hoax is a humorous or malicious deception, meaning there was malice and intent to hide or obfuscate the reality of the situation. That's not what happened here. Okay? That's not what happened.
Seems like. We have this from the Washington Post. Records show Indiana doctor.
And like the thumbnail of this is so disgusting. The thumbnail of this Tim Pool video says scandal over Democrat abortion hoax could lead to the arrest of the abortionist, the doctor. In Tim's mind, anything that makes him look bad is malicious assault. Yeah. It depends on how prolific they are with web building. Yeah, no, this guy was jumping around all over the place. I don't know about that. He kind of freaked me out, so I just moved him out.
Fulfilled duty to report 10-year-old's abortion. Really? But do they not mention that she reported it wrong? That's what I find crazy about this. They don't. They just say she did the right thing. On Wednesday, however, the Columbus Dispatch confirmed the account, reporting the 27-year-old man, Gerson Fuentes. Do they mention that in Indiana she reported it incorrectly? Reporting it incorrectly may not be a crime. So we will see how that plays out. But I'm sorry, man.
What? Reporting it incorrectly is not even a crime? So, like, there's nothing to talk about here. It's all in the service of the right wing for this guy. It's all for whatever makes him money.
The whole thing seems so perfectly orchestrated. I'll tell you how. The left consistently puts out stories like Jussie Smollett with limited evidence, and they fall for it.
This is nothing to do. This is Jesus Christ. What is the logical fallacy? Making something completely unrelated has nothing to do with anything. It's not like a red herring, like a pivot. And this guy is talking about Jussie Smollett in the context of a 10-year-old being raped. Non sequitur. Thank you. Thank you. That's the one that I'm looking for. A non sequitur.
Later on, the right calls them out, and it turns out the right was correct. Kyle Rittenhouse, Covington Catholic, and Jussie Smollett are just some recent examples.
Nothing to do with anything.
Then we get this viral story with no reporting, with no confirmation.
That's not true.
Rumor.
That's not true. None of that is true, actually. This is a deliberate attempt to poison the well because he's running defense for the direct consequences to Republican leadership. This is direct. This chain of events is directly tied to Republicans winning elections and having power. Okay? That's what happens when Republicans win. Okay? And now, when it comes time to face the music, here comes Tim Pool to the rescue to try to obfuscate this.
No one can seem to find any information about it.
That's
but
not
because
true.
the story gets so big, the right takes the bait. Why?
There's no
Conservatives
bait here.
started talking about a story that didn't exist?
There's no bait here. Okay?
That's the stupidest thing ever. No, seriously. They react. That's what the right does. It's sad. Don't. Lead the charge. I did not engage with the story because there was no story to engage with. A bunch of random Twitter accounts were talking about a thing that they had no evidence of.
That's not true.
Sorry, not interested. Next question.
And yet
it turns out the girl
and then he makes a whole 32-minute video about it.
Existed. And as soon as that happens, they all point, see, the right was wrong. The right was wrong. See, we proved
Yes,
it.
100%.
Whatever. They fell for this one.
What do you mean, whatever? What? A 10-year-old was raped? What do you mean, whatever? Yeah, that's true. Rapes happen every day. Every effing day. And it's not the first nor the last example that we'll see with this at all. Like, the idea that this is inconceivable or made up is wild to me. But of course, it doesn't have to make sense. It's in the service of obfuscating or trying to run cover for what happens directly when Republicans win power. That's it. That's the whole point. That's Tim Pool's purpose. And he gets paid handsomely for it.
Now, I think it was strategic. That's my opinion. Because it's just such a weird story.
There's nothing weird about it.
The reality is the conservatives were wrong on this. The girl does exist, but I question the actions of the individuals involved.
What?
Now, where are we going with all of this?
Wait, 5 seconds ago, you were using very strong language like hoax. Yeah.
These are the propaganda stories used to try and codify Roe v. Wade, I guess.
What? What are you on about? Do you think that this was some complex, convoluted plan to make the argument as to why the right to bodily autonomy should just be a thing across the board, and that governments have no business dictating like what you can and cannot do when it comes to bodily autonomy? No. This is a direct result of Republicans winning power, and everything that the left was talking about is just right here. It's proof. It's proof why this was such a bad idea. Just because you don't like it doesn't make it any less true.
Where we currently are right now is that Democrats, they want power, extreme power.
What?
And AOC is calling for the stripping of the jurisdiction of the Supreme Court. And it's insane. It's an insane power grab.
You know what is insane? Insane that we have a political party attempting to strip away, or not attempting, successfully stripping away bodily autonomy. And then the consequences of this are coming to bear. And this is all done because of a disastrous Supreme Court that was put in there, that was installed mostly by presidents who didn't even win the popular vote. And one of those presidents was installed by the Supreme Court. Insert Tim's attempt to say I'm on the right side and I didn't do the bad thing. Other right people did. Yeah, no. Nothing's going to save you on this one, Tim.
Tweets. With our basic rights under threat from a rogue Supreme Court.
True.
Congress needs to exercise our legal authority to the fullest extent.
Yes. 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 What was wrong with that statement? Yes.
That's why today we call on Senator Schumer and Speaker Pelosi to support stripping the Supreme Court's jurisdiction over abortion.
Yes.
Now, on the surface, it's laughable.
No. Congress can make, Congress, if they wanted to, can actually pass legislation to codify the right to bodily autonomy. Yes, Congress has that power. That is Congress's power, and that's what the Supreme Court actually said. They said, well, if Congress wants to do something about it, they are more than able to. Yes, that's well within Congress's power. Congress is the absolute authority over the U.S. Yeah, well, I mean, they're like the federal legislature, yes. They make the laws. So they make the laws, so they absolutely have the power to codify the right to bodily autonomy. Right, federally, yes. And if they try, the response is states' rights. Yeah, no. F that. Honestly. F that.
Because the Supreme Court did just that. The Supreme Court literally said, we do not have authority in this matter. So AOC is like, they shouldn't have
That's not what the Supreme Court said.
authority in this matter. Okay. Well, if you look a little bit deeper, it's more than that. AOC is saying they shouldn't have appellate jurisdiction in this matter and should defer to a separate court, and that can be arranged. So it's not that she's saying the Supreme Court shouldn't be able to rule on Roe v. Wade as they already did, or that it should be kicked back to the states. She's disagreeing with their ruling and saying a different court should oversee these rulings. It would seem they're trying to reinstate Roe v. Wade in a surreptitious, sneaky way that violates major core tenets of this country.
No. Really, the simple answer is that if the simple answer is that if Congress really wanted to codify Roe v. Wade or wanted to codify bodily autonomy, they could. They have absolutely every power to do so. That's literally within their purview. That's exactly why they're there. In terms of like their scope, they could absolutely do that if they wished. So I don't know. Like I'm first of all, it's hard to trust anything that Tim says. But even if AOC was actually suggesting that we need a separate court, we don't need a separate court system. We need Congress to do its job. That's it.
AOC says Congress is granted the authority to remove the Supreme Court's jurisdiction under Article 3. To protect marriage equality, contraception, and more, we need to limit the power of the far-right court that's already overturned Roe v. Wade.
Yes, and you do that by codifying these things into in the legislature. That's it. My favorite is that they justified all this original nonsense by citing legal opinions from the 1600s England. Yeah, well, the whole point being is that yeah, she's right in the sense that like Congress could absolutely codify this into law, and that's it. That's the end of the story. End of story. That's Congress's job.
So what AOC is saying is that because the Supreme Court, notably Clarence Thomas, questioned Obergefell v. Hodges, I believe, is that? Let me make sure we get all these.
Yes, Justice Clarence Thomas, who has dubious amounts of conflict of interest and has been acting in a very unethical way. I would argue he should be impeached. The other ones too for lying under oath. There should be impeachment hearings regarding their lies under oath. And furthermore, yes, Justice Clarence Thomas, they're using aborted fetal cells in the vaccine. Thomas, that guy. Yeah, that guy. Tim never reads about the existence of the legislative branch. No, just individual people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Unfortunately, Congress will never pass that legislation because doing so will annihilate thousands of hours of political talking points that distract us from the country's business. I don't know. I mean, like, maybe that's part of it. But either way, it doesn't matter. They're failing. And this incompetence is costing us. This incompetence or maliciousness, whatever you want to call it. Husband of Ginny Thomas, who organized and participated, and in fact, he was the lone dissent in one of these cases. To quote Sonic Youth, Black Robe and Sue, I believe Anita Hill, that judge will rot in hell. Yeah, he deserves to. F that guy. To the extent that exists. F that guy. But yeah, Maple Leaf Dragon. Absolutely. It could all just be, distractions. It could all just be incompetence, maliciousness. The Democratic Party is just not here. It's not, the opposition party is not here. Regardless. And that's a problem. That's a problem. If the Democratic Party cannot get its collective-ish together for whatever reason, that's it. Yeah, incompetence, maliciousness with a smattering of sociopathy and avarice. Yeah, well. For all of the
Obergefell
above.
v. Hodges, Lawrence v. Texas, and Griswold v. Connecticut. We need right now to take away the appellate authority of the Supreme Court and give it to a local DC or to a federal DC court so that they can issue the final ruling.
What?
It's a power play.
No.
It's a major power play.
What if she actually said that? No, the proper response would be to get the legislator to codify it. That's it. Jesus Christ.
said one simple thing. We do not have the authority.
That's not true.
AOC now wants to grant the authority to a lesser court. Let me stress that again. The Supreme Court says, leave us out of it. So
That's not what
AOC
they
says,
said.
fine.
They
Give
ruled
the
on
final
it.
say to
What?
a lower court. That makes absolutely...
The Supreme Court didn't say leave us out of it. The Supreme Court made a decision. Thomas was a lone dissenter in the case, releasing documents in the January 6th committee that ended up showing his wife's involvement. Yes, that's exactly it, Crelio.
No sense. It's a power grab.
Hi,
Jesus.
Main power play. And I'm not surprised the Democrats are trying to do it. Now, they think they're winning this fight.
Give you my thesaurus, say workout today. Nah, it's awesome. Language is cool. Ah, Jesus
Good
Christ.
evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson tonight.
Jesus.
Peter Navarro is the
No.
A doctor who provided... I think this was a hoax. Now, for defamation. Alleged Attorney General's office issued the following woman's pregnancy as to necessitate the immediate performance. I'm saying it's a hoax. You mean to tell me, jumbled up with all of this, refer to a separate court to take away the appellate authority of the Supreme Court and give it to a local DC or to a federal DC court so that they can issue the final
Yeah,
ruling.
all the jump scares today.
Powerful.
Jesus. This is the problem when you click on some of these clowns' stuff. The algorithm starts suggesting you garbage like freaking Tucker Carlson right afterwards. No wonder, people. No wonder. You got like Tim Pool, and then like you finish the Tim Pool thing, and then you automatically get suggested a freaking Tucker Carlson video.
It's a
Jesus
major power play.
Christ.
The Supreme Court said one simple thing. We do not have the authority.
Yeah, that alone should be enough for impeachment, or at least an investigation, but like never mind the other stuff. Absolutely, Crelio.
AOC now wants to grant the authority to a lesser court. Let me stress that again. Supreme Court says, leave us out of it.
They didn't.
So AOC
They
says,
ruled on it.
fine. Give the final say.
If the Supreme Court wanted to be left out of it, they would have shot down that case. They would have been like, nope. To
a lower court. That makes absolutely no sense. It's a power grab. It's an insane power play. And I'm not surprised the Democrats are trying to do it. Now, they think they're winning this fight in it to a certain degree. They think their propaganda will work. It will not. They've lost in the Supreme Court.
What
They're
propaganda?
trying everything they can. I don't think they're going to be able to pull it off.
What propaganda? What? There's obviously a negative connotation as there's some like scheme behind the scenes, but like, yeah, bodily autonomy is not really up for debate, right? Like, you either believe in bodily autonomy or you're an authoritarian fuck, and this guy's siding with the authoritarian fucks. That's it.
The Washington Post ran this op-ed, which is particularly fascinating. A Berkeley professor's Senate testimony didn't go how the left thinks it did. I love it. Everyone agrees it was an epic own. There's much less agreement about who got owned. In Tuesday's Senate hearing on the Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade, Senator John Cornyn asked University of California at Berkeley law professor Kiara Bridges whether she thought a baby that is not yet born has value. This ensued, quote, I believe a person with the capacity for pregnancy has value. They have intelligence. They have agency. Because that's how they talk. They do this weird thing that's extremely...
What? Yes, they have. Yes, the person that's here. The person that's the here and now. Not a potential person. Not a clump of cells. And regardless, the person that's here now does have value too, right? The argument is you are not entitled to another person's body. That's it. That's what she's trying to, that's the argument. That's it. There's nothing else to it. You are not entitled to another person's body. I do not have under any obligation, I'm not under any obligation to sustain anybody else at the price of my own body. Right? That's the whole argument. Agency. Yes. Yes, Tim, I know words are hard for you. But yes, she's right.
It's just weird.
What
You look at Christine Blasey Ford. She does the look down, the weird thing with
fuck?
guys.
Oi,
Peter Strzok did the same thing. Look,
Oi. What does Christine Blasey Ford have to do with anything? What? What?
looking down and
What?
There's another thing that we see from like AOC and this woman where they go,
AOC and this woman are two different people. What are you talking about? This woman. What? Professor Bridges and AOC are two different people. Yeah, that's what it is. All these uppity women and women of color is particularly because they're both women of color daring to speak.
They get asked a simple question. Does an unborn child have value? I believe a person with the capacity for pregnancy has value.
Yes. Yes. The question was, does an unborn person have value? No, they're unborn. They don't exist. What? How can you even begin to quantify that? They don't exist. They don't exist. Like you're living in this ephemeral what if scenario of a potential person that doesn't exist. That question assigns personhood, right, which doesn't exist. That's not a person you're dealing with, especially if it's like a clump of cells, right? There's got to be oh man, a history of inbreeding in his family for this level of stupidity? No, I think he's doing this on purpose because there's two things that he needs to do. He needs to get paid, and he needs to do whatever that requires. And of course, well, towing the right-wing line, being essentially a political operative for the Republican Party, whether he believes it or not, or whether he realizes it or not. Maybe he does. I don't know. The only thing that matters to him is whatever dollar sign is put in front of him. That's what it is. I don't even know if he actually believes in this or if he's just really stupid. If he's this much of an idiot, uninformed. But it's irrelevant because the damage that he does is real.
They have intelligence.
Yeah.
They have agency.
Yes.
I think it's creepy. I think it's manipulative.
I know you think that people wanting people who like the idea of agency, bodily autonomy, the right to self-determination. I know that's creepy to you, Tim. I understand that. That's creepy to you because you're siding and running cover for the authoritarian fox. That's literally what you do. Big part of hearings is fishing out sound bites that can be clipped and their district and posted and possibly nationally. That's true. By these people's word of thinking, every woman who has an egg frozen should be forced to have them fertilized and implanted. Yeah. A baby not yet born is not a baby. Correct. Much like an unbaked cake is unlike cake, unbaked cake batter is not a cake. Correct. He really true is a fascist at heart, isn't he? His little hat and stuffed and his befuddled demeanor. Yeah, like the idea, I don't know like if he is a fascist, but he definitely does a great job at downplaying what they're doing, and he does a phenomenal job of playing defense for them. I mean, we can say that for sure. Yeah. Hey, Astro, how's it going?
Manipulative, and I think many people who are easily manipulated fall for it.
The irony of saying that. The irony of that statement, folks, it just goes right over his head.
No, I'm talking about the baby, Cornyn interrupted.
There's no baby.
And I'm talking about the person with the capacity for pregnancy.
Yes, the person.
She retorted. I'm answering a more interesting question to me. Then when it was his turn to speak, Senator Josh Hawley returned his exchange saying, you referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women? In even tones, Bridges replied that while many cisgender women have the capacity for pregnancy, many don't. While some trans men and non-binary people do. But after a little back and forth, she gave up. So I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, she said, with an exasperated laugh, and it opens up trans people to violence. The whole thing became a Rorschach test. Many progressives cheered to see Professor Bridges school a reactionary Republican.
Yeah, I mean, like, their line of questioning was stupid. Yeah. Because, like, for Christ's sakes, people who want autonomy are creepy to me. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. The fact that he has no, like, comment on that is kind of weird. And like, the fact that he thinks that that's creepy, the idea of agency, of having self-determination is creepy. Yikes, dude. Yikes. I'm totally shuddered with the heart. Oof. What happened?
But conservatives also cheered because they see a gift to Republican election campaigns. Unlike a Rorschach test, however, this one has a right answer. And the progressives have it wrong. Moreover, the fact that they can't see just how badly this exchange went for their side shows what a big mistake it was to let academia and media institutions turn into left-wing monocultures.
What? What?
Within those rarefied circles, Bridges' answers were exquisitely and exactly correct. She allowed no hint that late-term fetuses might have more moral value, because that might suggest their interests could be weighed against those of the, well, pregnancy capable.
Yes. Yes. The whole underlying argument, the fundamental argument is that you're not entitled to another person's body. What are you talking about? She actually schooled him before the trans comment. Many women cannot get pregnant. So when we talk of pregnancy, we mean people who can get pregnant. Right, exactly. Not just not women as a quote gender group. That's right. Oh, I'm totally shredded with the heat. Okay, it's 11:30 at night and it's still 86 degrees Fahrenheit. Jesus, yeah, I heard about that. I actually have an article here about that.
Nor did she concede an inch to the idea that biology can trump gender identity. And when she ran out of patience with all these questions, she pounced in exactly the prescribed manner. Your questions are transphobic, Senator, and you are putting trans people at risk of violence or suicide by denying their lived reality. Yet outside those circles, Bridges' answers don't really sound so convincing. In most of America, does a late-term fetus have value is a softball. And when Holly leaped in to ask...
Does a late-term fetus have value? First of all, generally speaking, late-term abortions are incredibly rare. Late-term abortions are incredibly rare, generally speaking. The person wants the child, okay? If we're talking like the third trimester, generally speaking, most people are ready for that child. They want the child. That's why it made it to the third trimester. The overwhelming amount of abortions that happen in the late stages of pregnancy are because of some serious medical conditions that need to be addressed, right? Like the mother is in risk, the baby is stillborn, or there's some medical condition that happened to it, and now we've got to make choices. Like, that's usually it when it comes to like late term abortion. So already the line of questioning is super bad faith, and of course it's on purpose though. Tim's not going to talk about that though. Tomorrow will be even hotter, over 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Yikes.
Whether women are the ones who give birth, a question few Americans today would struggle with, she resorted to extended question begging that might be fine for a Berkeley classroom, but it just won't do for a political debate in which the majority of voters disagree with you. Anyone who has ever tried to convince anyone of anything should be able to see that Bridges' approach was counterproductive. Why then do so many articles and tweets cheer the way she shut down Holly? Because there is one place that snickering, eye rolling, and so forth are very effective. Within an insular group where they help delineate the line.
Audemars held my last message. Oh yeah, here we are. I love how everything says is perfectly right wing. Notice he doesn't say late-term fetus are people. To him, they have value. It's always transactional. Right. Not human, but currency. I kind of agree that Professor Bridges went one step too far by directly calling corny and transphobic, even if it's deserved. I believe she could have been more diplomatic. Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, they're going to say some nonsense at all, and you might as well skewer these people for what they are. I don't know. I think she handled that just fine. Every time Pim Tool, Mayhem Hippie with the 100 biddies. Thank you so much. Jerks off, you should get arrested for performing an abortion. True.
Lines of acceptable belief. A sufficiently incredulous, are you suggesting? Effectively signals a silent corollary. Because if you are, we'll shun you. It tells people that this topic is
Wizzy with another 100 biddies. Love you. Much love, Carlos. I need to walk away from my PC. Stupid long work day. No problem. I appreciate that. No worries, my friend. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
In fact, it works too well. It leaves them unprepared to argue with outsiders. McArdle goes on to say, the writer for the Washington Post, when I was reporting on the story of transgender college member...
Like, if you want to make the argument that, like, maybe there was better ways of phrasing things, then sure, but, like, Maple Leaf Dragon with 100 biddies. Oh, snap. A hype train just started. Mayhem with another 700 biddies. This hype train is on its way, folks. Okay? Echo Resto Dragon. That's right. This hype train is well on its way. All right.
Inflation.
I'm really leaving now? Okay. Well.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap. Gay. Frogs, friggin' frogs. It's not funny. I'm gonna say it real slow for you. Gay. Frogs. Won't you fight for your life? Gay. Frogs, friggin' frogs. I don't like a frogs. Gay. Friggin' frogs. Frogs. Friggin' frog crap. Won't you fight the frogs? It's not funny. I'm gonna say it real slow for you. Frogs. Fight. Place point.
Okay.
Took the DMT. Stalin took. Fight for your life. They're taking the DMT. Hitler took the DMT. Stalin took the DMT. Mao took the DMT. The DMT. Hitler took the DMT. Stalin took the DMT. Mao took the DMT. The DMT.
Level 1 complete and Trauma with a tier 1 sub. Wizzy with another 100 biddies. Maple Leaf Dragon with 400 biddies.
Mao took the DMT. The DMT. The Clockwork Elves, all of it. I shouldn't even get into it. There's a reason they're all whacked out of their minds. They're taking DMT.
Level 2.
And the point is that their whole science is way ahead, and we don't even know what they've got.
Hammer.
They're in power because they're taking
Mayhem.
Hitler took the DMT.
Hammer, the 1G resubscribe with the tier 1. Mayhem Hippie with the 500 biddies.
Hitler took the DMT. Stalin took the DMT. Mao took the DMT. Chris Gio took the DMT. You think they're all a bunch of old men? They're in power because they were into this stuff 70 years ago. The DMT. They were jacking DMT 70 years ago. They were injecting it. They're taking the DMT. Hitler took the DMT. Stalin took the DMT. Mao took the DMT. Chris Gio took the DMT. Hitler took the DMT. Stalin took the DMT. Mao took the DMT. Truth Frequency Radio took the DMT. I shouldn't even get into it.
Next one. Mayhem giving out two subs. Jesus.
Your leftist ass like corn on. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on.
This man's about to blow a gasket.
I will eat your ass.
Sub goal. That's right. We just blew through that sub goal.
Corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass.
Have you ever played a John Burko rap? No.
I'll drink your blood. And I'm starting to think
I'm still trying to find a gay frog. It would be base.
You think I like
True.
size it up, I'm gonna haul him up, back chain. Chop his ass up, size it up, I'm gonna haul him up, back chain. Chop, 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 chop. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass. I'll barbecue your ass flat. I will cook your ass up so fast, and I'll tell them, "Oh, I killed a cow out back, baby." You think Christ would eat somebody? He would never do that. I will. I'm ready to hang them up.
No king shaming, but doesn't
Gonna
surprise me. I
chop
like
them
this.
up. You know what? I'm ready. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat you. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I will eat your ass. I will eat your leftist ass like corn on the cob.
Level 3.
I will eat you. I will eat your ass. That's why I want the globalists to know. I will eat your ass first. I swear to God, if it's the last thing I do, I'm gonna get my hands around your throat. The company store, the paradigm of absolute control. And that's why we're just out here doing simple things, pointing out that we're meant to be in nature and be natural. And this is where we find the source that God made to transcend the New World Order. And that's why they want to try to keep us out of it.
I'm angry. I've had enough of these people.
Mayhem.
They're a bunch of Christian murderous scum. They're on giant death factories keeping babies alive.
I like this one. Yeah, this is one of my favorite ones too.
What do you need to know about these people? I go out and face these scum. They literally crawl out from under rocks. They have green looking skin and they run around screaming, "We love Satan, we wanna eat babies." I have them on video. Hillary's in the creepy, weird, sick stuff, man. She sleeps in the same room with that creepy, weird woman whose mother wears a hood over her head. What the hell? That woman number one is ugly. Imagine how bad she smells, man. I'm told her and Obama just stink. Obama and Hillary both smell like sulfur. Literal vampire pot belly goblins are hobbling round coming after us. My spirit gets close to that evil and I feel it go. We're such self-centered crap. We don't even notice how it's rising up against us. Millions of pointed people of the very worst type, and I'm so pissed. We're gonna stab your daughter at the mall. We're gonna stab your wife, your son. We're gonna stab you with a butcher knife, and then the police chief is gonna
Remember when this is the worst we had to deal with?
we
True.
love our Somalis, we love our Muslims. Oh, they're so good. Oh, they're so sweet.
I was watching Fox News as I worked out this morning.
That's my favorite part of the video. I'm not even gonna lie. That is my favorite part of the video. Oh man. Oh my goodness. And right on cue too. Thank you guys so much for that hype train. That was just unbelievable. Level 3 hype train. We tried to get it going in the beginning. And it finally happened. Thank you so much to all the support, all the subs, all the gifted subs. Hammer, Mayhem Hippie, and Trauma. Wizzy, Maple Leaf Dragon, Mayhem Hippie with more biddies, Maple Leaf Dragon with 100 bitties. Whew, where do I even begin? Mayhem Hippie with God knows how many already at this point. In a single one, with definitely more than 800 during that. Whoa, actually, about 1,300, something like that, in that single hype train. And to gifted subs, Hammer with a tier 1 sub, and Troma resubscribing. Hey, how's it going? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And let me see, make sure I got this here. Maple Leaf Dragon with a tier 1 sub too. Choo choo indeed. We made it. We made it. Look at that. We even got extra emotes too. Thank you so much. I appreciate that to everybody who participated, and I honestly, it really does help out the channel, and it really does make my heart melt. The amount of support that you guys have given to this channel alone is just unfreaking believable. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. I really do. Wow. Unreal. Unreal, folks. Thank you so much. It does mean a lot to me.
Leah Thomas, I notice a curious disconnect. If you read newspapers, watch television, or listen to academic experts, you might have thought that most people supported Thomas, with some dissent from a few reactionaries or jealous competitors. Yet the overwhelming majority of people I actually spoke to thought it was unfair for her to compete in women's events, even though most of them were liberals who would never dream of voting Republican. They were, however, a fearfully silent majority, which meant Thomas's supporters never had to come up with good arguments. Instead, many of my questions got essentially the same answer as the one Bridges ultimately gave to Holly. Even asking the question is transphobic and dangerous.
No.
Within a narrow set of media and academic circles, this was devastatingly effective. Was a devastatingly effective tactic that made it impossible for opponents to organize an effective response. Outside those circles, however, it failed utterly. The Swim Federation swiftly made new rules to bar Thomas, along with other athletes who transitioned after puberty, from participating in future races, which doesn't solve the problem. Full stop. Full pause.
How does that? Okay, sorry. We were talking about like the whole abortion thing, and now we're talking about Leah Thompson or Leah Thomas. I forgot.
Puberty is meaningless.
That's not true.
You need only look at the 12-year-old boys who have performed historical feats in skateboarding, like landing the first 1080s, and the 12-year-old girls who struggle to get anywhere near that. Sad reality for many of these progressives. The reality for everyone else. I wondered then whether that decision might have gone differently, or at least be less surprising, if Thomas's supporters had been forced to grapple more directly with the things her opponents were saying, quietly, in private, where they couldn't be overheard. And I wonder now, what further surprises are in store if progressives can't figure out how to talk to the majority of the country that disagrees with them on a whole lot of things. So here we are. The propaganda isn't working. The more these people sit in their little caves ignoring reality, the more they lose.
Like you?
Now, it may be effective in a certain sense. They may be able to keep the cult going with their life.
What? Wait, either it is effective or it's not.
But every day we chisel away at that stone. We wake people up. We challenge the machine. We call out the lies. Jesse Waters says AOC is a big problem for Democrats. Reacts to AOC suggesting January 6th could be an inside job. Oh, I can.
What? Dude, we're changing. We're changing at a breakneck pace to try to avoid talking about literally anything. I don't know what he's talking about, Echo Resto Dragon. There's been this tactic for a few years of right-wingers pretending that they're lefties, but they're obviously not. It's weird. Yeah, because it makes money. It makes money. That's why Tim Pool exists.
Rag on AOC for when I think she's wrong. She's right here. Here's what I don't get. Jack Posobiec. We like Jack. Jack's a good friend of the show. Jack's a good friend. And he said AOC admits. I dare say, Jack, she doesn't admit anything. She calls out exactly what we called out. When we come out and say someone opened the door for these people on January 6th, we're not admitting to it. Because what does that mean? Does that mean we know the person who did and we were hiding it before? No, AOC is calling out what we've been calling out too.
That's not true. That's not true at all. These things are not remotely the same. I mean, random people too? Huh. Really? I mean...
Unanswered questions. I think we have to be careful about that framing. When Jack tweeted AOC admits the doors were opened, it makes it seem like she knew before and was withholding that information, when she very clearly and in exasperation was demanding that investigation. I agree with AOC. Jesse Waters says, AOC is suggesting that January 6th might have been an inside job. How come
Maybe.
Twitter hasn't banned that? She's getting into some very dangerous territory here. AOC is right about that. Questioning the institutions in D.C. is dangerous. That's why we're not allowed to ask about January 6th, the FBI's role in the collusion hoax, the State Department covering up Benghazi, the Wuhan lab. Welcome to my world, AOC.
What?
Dip your toe in.
What? All of these are like wild and grossly misrepresented. Some of them not even based in reality. What are you talking about? Yeah, he was just talking about abortions. And talk about a huge squirrel distraction. Yeah, now we're talking about January 6th, which he downplayed, by the way.
The water's warm. Next thing you know, the congresswoman is going to start asking about the laptop from hell. So AOC is a live wire and a big problem for Democrats. She's calling the January 6th committee a sham, saying her side of the aisle is covering up the truth about what happened that day. That's a very dangerous place for AOC to be. And she
That's not true. What? The January 6th? What?
is. She said, why aren't we investigating this? She's outright saying the Democrats are choosing politics over the truth.
That's not true.
Bravo. AOC may have a preconceived notion about what's really happening. I don't care. I don't care what the right thinks. I don't care what the left thinks. I care that both sides agree somebody opened the doors.
What? What are you talking about? They are investigating this. What?
Somebody was helping these people on the inside. Let's get to the bottom of it. Instead, you get the right just going after AOC because Alex Stein yelled she had a big booty. We got Alex Stein joining us on Timcast IRL. I think he's a funny guy. I think he's done some good stuff calling out the machine and mocking them, and I think culture jamming is extremely important. On this one, I got no problem criticizing the dude. I think it's funny. People are like, oh, Tim's mad. It's like, yo, dude, you think I'm going to sit here and just blindly agree with everything the right ever does?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Sorry, I don't play that. When Alex Stein goes to these board meetings and pretends to be woke and just calls it out, that is brilliant, effective culture jamming. I've talked about doing similar things. You want to shock the system by just showing them themselves, holding up a mirror. Culture jamming is brilliant. Yelling at AOC that she has a big booty on the steps of the Capitol makes no argument, exposes nothing, and empowers the left, the far left, and the Democrats. Gives them fuel for their fire, and it allows them to use that.
I love how, like, Tim had, like, a lucid, like, second there for a moment. He was, like, heading in the right, direction. Like, yeah, obviously criticizing somebody's appearance or making a mention of somebody's appearance is clearly, like, not an argument. It's called an ad hom. And then he immediately tries to conflate the Democrats, the left, and the far left. All these things are different. These words have meanings. And the Democratic Party is not a left-wing party. You're making it seem like as if all these groups are the same thing. That's very dishonest. When does he ever disagree with the right? He doesn't. His whole entire spiel is to run defense for them. That's the game.
That is a propaganda tool to smear conservatives. It was a mistake. It's funny. I wouldn't do it. I don't like it.
I don't like it,
but I find
it funny. What? Okay.
He was talking about Brett Kavanaugh. Let him eat cake. She reacts to Kavanaugh being forced out of his restaurant, saying, poor guy. Well, look, I'll tell you this. You got to have sympathy for people who are getting heckled. However, there's a big difference here. Kavanaugh was being protested in private. AOC was being heckled on her way to work. They're different scenarios. You shouldn't yell about AOC's big booty because it solves nothing. It gives the left power. It gives them an argument. It gives them propaganda. And it doesn't prove a point for you. What am I supposed to say here? If Alex Stein says, AOC, why do you support killing babies? I'd be like, well, there you go. He's asking a question.
What? He's literally, and to bring it back full circle to the original point of the video of abortion, he does actually think that abortion is literally unironically killing live babies, just flat out the Republican line. This guy's a far right conservative, dude. There's no denying this.
Instead, he just called her sexy and laughed. So there's no argument to be made. So what is there to support? The people protesting Kavanaugh were making an argument, a bad one, I might add. But there's more merit in an argument.
Not really.
In politics. I don't think they should be protesting at a private restaurant over what, Kavanaugh eating or whatever.
Oh, well.
It is what it is. You can criticize it for a lot of things. If Alex Stein saw AOC and said, here's a contradiction, that would have been interesting. Because then what would have happened? If he was actually protesting AOC and she got mad and called it out and screamed about it, then you'd come out and say the Kavanaugh thing. But in this instance, I get why AOC's mad. It's not the same thing. Yelling about her butt and how she looks is not a political argument. That's it. There's no argument. So AOC simply says, yeah, Kavanaugh was being protested on the merit. I was being yelled at over my butt. Yeah, okay, That's convincing. Now, you can argue it's not. You can argue what you want to argue. You're allowed to. But I'll tell you this. We're in a 5th generational war. An information
Generational war? What? What are you talking about?
An info war, as it were.
Oh my god. Did he just... Oh no. Oh no, no, no. Did he... Is he referencing Alex Jones, please? Please, God.
We got to win hearts and minds. Do you think yelling about AOC's booty convinces working class people who want the gas prices to go down to vote Republican or to listen to Republicans?
So, you are a Republican operative. Because the whole point is to get votes for them, right? Like, how do people not see this? He's blatantly telling you what he is. He's blatantly telling you, like, hey, yeah, maybe being sexist is not a good look. But what he doesn't understand, or maybe he does, I don't know. His job is to run cover. It actually does get them votes. But whatever, that's neither here nor there. The point is, he tacitly admits that that's his job. His job is to be a Republican operative. He's telling you right there.
No, it is crass and crude and drives people away. It actually makes AOC look sympathetic. And then when we should be talking about her calls on January 6th, we don't. About January 6th, all we hear about is these booty stories. So,
well, that's a you problem.
The important thing we do is make our arguments. The important thing we do is we call out the manipulations and the propaganda, and we try to get to the bottom of things. The Republican AG in Indiana is doing that. I think something fishy is afoot. I could be wrong. That's fine. I'm giving you my opinion based on the facts.
So now we're gonna bring it back. We're gonna bring it back full circle. That he thinks that the doctor who performed this abortion on a 10-year-old rape victim it needs to be investigated. Jesus Christ.
We'll see. The next segment is coming up at youtube.com.
Yeah, fuck you. Anyways. Oh my god. I don't even want to know what the comments are going to look like. Oh boy. Yikes. But the top comment, or the first comment here, imagine being more upset that a kid can't get an abortion than you are about the fact that the kid was raped. Yep. That's Tim Pool, and that's the Republican Party right there. Pretty sure we have laws in Indiana that require reporting this kind of thing to the authorities. It was. Imagine a world where an abuser can take their child in for the procedure for the abortion. No questions asked. That's not true at all. The doctor reported it. Like, they believe this crap. They believe this crap. Jesus. What a cesspool. Thanks, Tim. Heat wave engulfs much of Europe as wildfire rages. Temperatures could reach record levels in 15 regions of the Southwest, with firefighters battling wildfires and thousands forced to evacuate. This is in Europe. Blazes in Spain, Portugal, and Greece have forced thousands more to flee. Record temperatures are also expected in parts of the UK, which has its first ever red extreme heat warning in place. Wildfires in France recently have forced over 24,000 people to flee, with emergency shelters set up for evacuees. Gironde, a popular tourist region in the Southwest, has been particularly hit badly, with firefighters battling to control fires which have destroyed over 14,000 hectares or 34,000 acres of land since last Tuesday. Jean-Luc Glacy, president of the Gironde region, told BBC that fires had continued to grow in La Teste de Bouche and Landiras because of the hot and windy weather, making it difficult for firefighters to contain them. i.e., climate change, folks. These have to fight against. They have to fight against this wildfire. With this fire, which is growing and growing, sometimes getting very, very high. The heat wave has prompted warnings of what one meteorologist described to the AFP news agency as an apocalypse of heat in some areas of the southwest. The heat wave has impacted other areas of France too. The city of Brest in northwestern Brittany has reached 104 degrees Fahrenheit, far higher than its usual average for July. Record temperatures are registered across many towns and cities in France, the National Weather Office said. Jesus. But what is climate change? Alex, what is climate change for $500? In Spain and Portugal, more than 1,000 deaths have been attributed to the heat in the recent days. In Spain's northwestern province of Zamora, where a fire has been blazing since the weekend, the body of a shepherd was found in Sierra de la Culebra mountain range. He is the second fatality of the Zamora fire after a 62-year-old firefighter was killed on Sunday. Jesus. In northeastern region of Catalonia, fire came right up to the house of Mercedes Pino near Pont de Vilomara. I was in bed through the window and I saw a very red light, she told Spanish media. I ran as fast as I could to the door and I saw a flame burning a caravan we have in front of the door. Jesus. Fires also broke out in Castilla y León, Galicia, Castile, Andalusia, and Extremadura. Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez visited Extremadura on Monday. Evidently, climate change kills. Jesus, no kidding. No kidding. It kills people, it kills our ecosystem and the biodiversity. True. Portugal and temperatures in Portugal hit 116 degrees Fahrenheit on Thursday, a record for July. 1/3 of the mainland still remains extreme risk of fire. At extreme risk of fire, according to the National Meteorological Office. This is due to severe extreme drought conditions virtually everywhere. Hundreds of people have been evacuated, with authorities anxious to avoid a repeat of 2017, when 66 people were killed in fires. Jesus. The heat wave is the second to hit parts of southwest Europe in recent weeks. Heat waves have become more frequent, more intense, and last longer because of human-induced climate change. That's right, folks. This is the new norm. The world has already warmed by about 1.1 degrees Celsius since the industrial era began, and temperatures will keep rising unless governments around the world make steps to cut emissions. Ha! Yeah. Enrique Sanchez, the Dean of Faculty Environmental Sciences and Biochemistry at the University of Castilla-La Mancha in Spain, told the BBC that heat waves could soon become the norm. In the long term, I mean in the following years, there's no way that the temperatures are going to not increase, so heat events will become more and more common along Europe. Yep. Yep, that's right, and fires are now burning hotter than ever, ones that were actually considered good, right? And of course, if fires burn abnormally hotter, it puts the trees at risk, so on and so forth.
How has a cheap pass impacted Germany's public transit adoption? How has a cheap pass impacted Germany's public transit adoption? And are American Presbyterians breaking up with oil?
Yeah, everything is fine, folks. Alright, I'm back. Oh, good. You came back just in time for doom and gloom.
Welcome to the Climate Recap from the Beckosphere Climate Corner, your go-to place for international and US-based climate news. I'm Becky Hogue, a science writer. Today is Monday, July 18th. Let's jump right into the news you need to start your day. Let's start with a climate study. A new major intergovernmental report determined that 1 in 5 people rely on wild plants, algae, and fungi for income and food. That's 70% of the world's lower income. Over 50,000 wild species of plants, fungi, and animals sustain the livelihoods of billions of people, with over 10,000 species harvested for human food.
Jesus.
1 in 3 people still relies on wood for cooking. This highlights the need to preserve biodiversity. Biodiversity is under threat. 34% of fish stocks are overfished, and 12% of wild tree species are under threat of unsustainable logging. All this while climate change is pulling creatures' habitats out from under them. Biodiversity is the net that holds humanity up, which is even more clear due to this study, so if it falls, we fall. The report found that places are more sustainably harvested when indigenous and local knowledge is implemented. Rural people in emerging economies are the most at risk of unsustainably harvesting wild species because there are no alternatives available. It had other policy suggestions, and if you would like to read more, there will be a link in the source list below. And leading us into the climate victories, one method people are using to maintain the biosphere is to collect native seeds. A grassroots effort in Nepal has been saving food crop seeds for the last 25 years. The goal is to nurture seeds in a way that will help them prepare for climate change. Native plants are more resource efficient because they evolved in those areas, but most farmers choose the plants that produce the highest yield, which isn't always a native option. Preserving native plants is more than just maintaining biodiversity and diversity. It also is about preserving culture. Native species come with them traditional cooking methods and recipes. Over in Europe, in May, Germany introduced a $9 or €7.6 monthly public transit pass for June to August on all trams, buses, subways, and regional trains to reverse the drop of public transportation used during the pandemic. Preliminary results show that shorter train rides rose to 58% above pre-pandemic levels, and medium-length trips rose to 46% above pre-pandemic levels. The pass also reduced passenger car travel time in 23 out of 26 German cities by reducing congestion. There are so many benefits to making public transportation more available to people, including expanding access to education and work opportunities and reducing greenhouse gas emissions and air pollution. Maybe this should be replicated in other countries where public transportation infrastructure exists. In the US, Washington, D.C. unanimously passed a new plan that requires all new buildings and renovations to consume as much energy as they produce by 2026. This means that they would be net zero buildings. This plan bans most gas in new buildings. This is big because the building sector accounts for 75% of the city's emissions. DC also legally pledged to be carbon neutral by 2045. The bill requires an audit every 3 years, starting in 2029.
Robot access, as
On the
long as they're not
religious
too
side
small.
of things,
True.
American Presbyterians are breaking up with 5 oil companies: ExxonMobil, Chevron, Marathon Petroleum, Phillips 66, and Valero Energy. The Presbyterian Church USA added those companies to its divestment list, along with the military and weapons industry. The church has been debating this move since the 80s. It's had a long history with oil, as many religions have.
What?
This comes only a few days after 36 religious groups from 9 countries announced they were divesting from fossil fuels. This group includes 5 Church of England dioceses, 2 Catholic dioceses in the UK, 11 Catholic religious orders, 2 Jesuit universities in the United States, and the United Methodist Church in Ireland. Hopefully this trend keeps going. Time for a climate fail. I could have pre-recorded this next news story a year ago. West Virginia Congressman Manchin officially declared he would not support any climate measures in the spending bill.
Mind you, President Joe Manchin proposed this one, and he torpedoed his own thing. Good memes. Looking forward to robotics as long as they're not too small. Divest now because fossil fuels are going the way of the dinos. Pun intended. That's funny.
It's unsurprising because he gets the most money from coal companies out of
any
anyone
senator.
in Congress, represents the second largest coal state in the U.S.,
True.
and has a coal mine in his family.
True.
His reasoning? Inflation.
Ha!
It's a bad time because of inflation, which hit 9.1% in June.
That's right. And a lot of the problems with inflation are, generally speaking, a byproduct of supply chain issues, price gouging, among other things. Like there's several factors that are being at play here, but one of the big ones are supply chain issues. And if we're talking about like exorbitant gas prices, why would you want to continue that? Why would you want to continue using the very thing that is exorbitant. And instead, why not pour all that energy and resources into more sustainable, renewable sources of energy?
But this implies that investing in clean energy and reducing emissions in all sectors will be detrimental to the economy.
Correct, which it's the exact opposite.
But actually doing nothing would be detrimental to the economy. A recent Deloitte study determined that if the US does not decarbonize, we will have to pay $14.5 trillion from now until 2070 due to the damage from extreme weather events. On the flip side, we could gain $3 trillion over the next 50 years by transitioning to clean energy. Those are our options. So Manchin's decision is incredibly disappointing, especially since we had just had the Supreme Court ruling that basically stated that...
Yeah, disappointing, but it is to be expected.
Climate action must go through Congress. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the last video I did. I'll leave a link in the source list below. With Manchin out of the picture, Democrats don't have the majority to pass anything climate-related in Congress unless the party gains 2 more congressmen during the midterm elections this November.
Yeah. About that. Okay.
So the federal government is basically left with
basically useless. Okay. is basically useless. The Democratic Party is currently in this time and place. It's currently failing. Yeah.
Have orders from the president and maybe some regulatory bodies doing something. Manchin's decision came at the same time as a new major Pew Research study, which found Americans divided about which way Biden's climate policies lead the country. Most Republicans say Biden's climate policies are moving the country in the wrong direction,
right,
though many still support clean energy incentivization. Most Democrats say that Biden's climate policies are moving the country in the right direction, but 6 in 10 of them say that he could be doing more than he is.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing, like, there's a lot of misconceptions here. I mean, like, the primary one, like, Republicans have diluted their base into thinking that anything climate related is some, like, green socialism plot to destroy America or something like that. And, like, on the other side, like, a lot of these, like, liberal Dems swear that, like, we're doing something about it. And it's like, no, we're not. No, we're not. Biden hasn't really done much, to be quite honest. I can probably count on one hand the amount of things that I can, like, kind of think on the top of my head and be like, damn, that's actually a good idea. The necessary amount of action is not there. And we've got one side saying that this is a green socialist plot to destroy America. And we've got one side that's just incapable of governing. Jesus.
Basically, Biden's losing his base's confidence when it comes to climate change. There's way more data the survey collected if you want to check out that.
The Dem Party is not failing. They're doing exactly what they're paid to do. We, the American voters, just need to jettison both. Ha! I wish. I wish it was just like... I wish it was as simple as, like, jettisoning both of them, starting with the Republican Party. Like, at this point in time, like, electorally speaking, the best case scenario is, like, the left facing off against the Democratic Party. That is how, that is the ideal scenario. Republicans just need to go. The Republican Party just needs to be obliterated. I would rather, like, ideally, in terms of electoralism, I would like to end up squaring off with the Democratic Party, but we just can't have the Republican Party. Like, it's just, like, it's too much. It's too much. We need to deal with this one at a time.
That in the source list. We need to lift our spirits with one more climate victory story. There might be rising prices and elongating wait times, but American electric car sales don't show it. US EV sales jumped by 5.6% from April through June, which is twice the number of sales that time last year. That's according to the industry consulting firm Cox Automotive. That being said, overall car sales have dropped by 20% due to inflation.
Yeah, because it's expensive. Like the average, like especially used cars are just expensive, exorbitantly expensive, unnecessarily expensive.
And that was your climate recap for Monday, July 18th. If you like the work I do, please follow this podcast, give it a 5-star rating, leave a review, and consider checking out the Beckosphere Climate Corner YouTube channel. Remember to talk about the climate crisis every single day and to support your local news organizations. Bye for now.
Based. All right. 74 subs. Come on, folks. Get some numbers up here. Yeah. EVs are inexpensive because they don't have raw materials they need to make them fast enough. Yeah, like not only that, like I'm pretty sure they can pump like a lot of these like subsidies that would normally be applicable to like fossil fuel industry. We could have ways of like incentivizing electrification. I mean, like through not only through electric vehicles, but the way we heat our homes and all that. Like I mean, there's definitely ways of improving this and eliminating our reliance on fossil fuels. Folks, also, if you have a moment, do me a favor and go follow the Beckosphere, and let's see if we can try to help them out to get to 50 followers. Yeah, no, it's literally the raw materials. I see. All right, we've got let me see here. I've done the research. Well, I mean, it does have a factor in the cost. I mean, it wouldn't. Let's just say I can buy that idea. So would the solution then be making those materials available? Maybe even moving in the direction of getting those raw materials here directly? More mines. Yeah, it's kind of a catch-22, right? Specifically lithium and nickel. Yeah, well, lithium... Oh, man, is it lithium? I think lithium in specific we could probably get from the ocean. We could probably extract that from the ocean. But... Yeah. We've got to weigh the environmental impacts as well too, so it's like give or take, but at the end of the day I think we are gonna have to bite some bullets until we can create like closed loop systems. We can, but the tech is not scalable yet. Oh Okay. So we can, but it's not really feasible. Tesla filed patents for more environmentally friendly ways of extracting lithium. Well, hopefully we can figure out a way to be more environmentally friendly and to respect also, like, land as well. The materials will be 100% recyclable by 2045 once there's enough batteries produced. Yeah, that's exactly a good thing. Steve Bannon. I think it was 98%, but you get what I mean. Yeah. Alright, folks, we need to talk about Steve Bannon, unfortunately. Steve Bannon is heading to trial on 2 criminal charges for his failure to comply with the House's January 6th investigation, 10 months after receiving the subpoenas from the Select Committee. Proceedings began on Monday with jury selection at the federal courthouse in D.C. 22 potential jurors have been found, and the 12 that make up the jury until alternatives will be selected on Tuesday morning. Our opening arguments will begin soon after. Polarizing longtime Trump ally has always been at the top of the January 6th witness list for House investigations, but Justice Department prosecutors say the trial is intended to punish Bannon for non-compliance with subpoenas rather than coerce him into sharing information. The case is a major test of what leverage Congress has when a witness evades a House subpoena. Bannon's is the first of 2 similar House Select Committee subpoena cases head-to-head to trial. A contempt case against a former White House trade advisor, Peter Navarro, is still in its early stages. Bannon's trial also carries special relevance for the House panel as it continues to negotiate bringing in additional witnesses and as it prepares for a major primetime hearing Thursday night, intended to spotlight what the committee members have called former President Trump's dereliction of duty on January 6th. Whew. Stay tuned for that one, folks. During Monday's jury selection process, potential jurors were not pressed about their general feelings about Bannon or Trump. They were, however, asked about the news consumption of the House investigation and about this case itself. Some said they've consumed a little of the House hearings, if that. Oof. But awareness alone, many of the potential jurors said they've heard minimally about Bannon's case, yet a large number of them have taken in at least some of the Select Committee public hearings. But awareness alone... Bannon! Yes, the Bannon. not the Bannon. Yet a large number of them have taken at least some of the select committee public hearings, but awareness alone isn't enough for them to be tossed in a jury pool. Among the jurors who qualified for the 22, there's a man who works with COVID testing, a woman retired from working for a union who's now writing a dissertation, a self-described recovering lawyer who now works with the State Department. Prosecutors pledge that their case against Bannon will be presented succinctly over just a few days, with only 2 or 3 prosecution witnesses. That list includes House committee investigators. It is unknown how extensive Bannon's defense will be, or if he will want to take the stand in his own defense. He will not be able to force House members to testify. Earlier in the case, Bannon vowed to make proceedings a misdemeanor from hell for Attorney General Merrick Garland, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, and President Joe Biden. But at a recent court hearing, his defense attorney David Schoen complained that what's the point of going to trial here if there's no defense? Bannon, who accepted an 11th hour pardon from Trump in 2021 as he was facing conspiracy, wire fraud, and money laundering charges in Manhattan's federal court related to a border wall fundraising scheme, has made a series of attempts in court in recent days to stop the trial, to fashion more of a defense, or to prepare for possible appeals. That's a good meme. So far, Nichols is overwhelmingly sided with the Justice Department on what evidence the jury can hear, cutting off Bannon's ability to defer to advice his attorney gave more to use internal DOJ policies on presidential advisors that he hoped might protect him. Yeah, this guy's gonna, I mean, like, under like a normal circumstance, to me, this seems like a very closed case. Like, pretty standard, easy. Open and shut case. That's right. Pardon for scamming Trump supporters. That's right. Hey, how's it going? All good news today? No, not really. Blue Fox. I mean, I guess lowercase w. Lowercase w, Steve Bannon might see some consequences, but like, okay. Maybe. We'll see. Both charges he faces are misdemeanors, but he's found guilty. Each carries a mandatory minimum of 30 days in jail. Well, he certainly deserves it. He deserves more than that, but hey. We'll see if any other higher-ups receive any type of accountability whatsoever. Have you heard of Trump's newest grift with books? No. Can you tell me about it? While we go over this one here. Surprise, surprise, QAnon influencer who founded one of the biggest QAnon channels in Telegram has explicitly endorsed and fabricated anti-Semitic texts, the Protocols of Elders of Zion, writing that it's pretty much a roadmap to everything that has occurred since then till today. It's always the same with these people. It's always the same. Who would have thought? Wow. QAnon, the QAnon conspiracy theory has anti-Semitic leanings to it. Wow. Who could have guessed that? Has anyone actually read the Protocols of the Learned Elders of Zion, written in 1907 and released by the FBI Vault in 2020? Regardless of who says what about its origins, it's pretty much a roadmap of everything that has occurred till then. If you haven't, you must absolutely... if you haven't, you absolutely must. 117% worth your time and effort. It's not that long. It is kind of long. The Protocols of Elder of Zion is just nonsense. Yeah. The founder has been the founder of the biggest QAnon channel has now on that channel encouraged people to read the fabricated anti-Semitic text, Protocols of Elders of Zion. Here's a tweet if anyone wants to read this. Just asking questions. Fact or fiction? Who knows? No. There are objectively real things, and no, this is not one of them. The channel for one of the main QAnon influencers behind the mass gathering of QAnon supporters in Dallas today has previously shared posts urging people to check out the fabricated anti-Semitic text, the Protocols of Elder of Zion. Yep. There we go. Right there. This is one of the largest QAnon channels and one of the folks responsible for that whole JFK stunt. Yeah, just asking one specific question, if you will. Surprise, surprise. QAnon nonsense is tied with anti-Semitic Nazi shit. Wow. And it's always Jewish people with these Nazis.
At Joss & Main, style is what you make it.
Stop.
Make it eclectic.
Shh. I don't want to buy furniture, okay? It's okay. It's okay.
Donald Trump truly has perfected the grift that keeps on grifting.
True.
And he is now selling a book. Actually, it's a bundle. I'll give him credit. It's a bundle, not just a book. But he's selling it to his supporters for the low price of $999.99.
No way.
So basically $1,000.
Oh my god, $1,000. Oh lord. Oh man, the fleecing continues, folks. The fleecing continues. Oh my goodness, 1,000. Like I thought the mug club from that clown Steven Crowder was bad. The $99 coffee mug, the mug club. Or whatever BS. I thought that was outrageous. I thought that was outrageous. I love this vid. Listen to the end. All right, we'll definitely take a listen. Oh my goodness, $1,000, folks. The fleecing continues.
And you get his book that came out at the end of last year. It's called Our Journey Together. And as far as I can tell from this, I don't have a physical copy of it, but I've seen it online. It's a picture book, right? Pictures, because that's what Trump likes.
It's a picture book? Pictures. What? $1,000 for a glorified picture book. Okay.
And it's, you know, pictures of inauguration, pictures of the administration, traveling, meeting foreign leaders, doing all kinds of fun stuff while he was president. That's our journey together. All of these wonderful pictures and the little bitty captions. For $1,000. But hey, whoa. There's more. Not only do you get a copy of Our Journey Together, but it will be signed by President Donald Trump himself. And if that's not enough to get you interested in this deal, then how about we throw in a MAGA hat and a copy of Don Jr.'s book, Liberal Privilege. Yeah, this basically does sound like a TV infomercial at this point.
Yeah,
Here's
it
what
is
Donald
an
Trump
infomercial.
sent out recently on Truth Social, and I didn't make it print out this big. I feel like my grandmother here, so I'm sorry. But he sent out on Truth Social recently. He says, "Great
if
news!
you print out the
We have
page,
a
that's how it's gonna
special
look."
edition of our journey together. Each one is hand signed by me.
Trump got a
Very
$1 billion
limited
nerve,
edition.
yeah.
They won't last long. For $1,000." You get Our Journey Together signed, you get liberal privilege from Don Jr., and you get a MAGA hat. Sorry, you get a MAGA hat. Right there. For $1,000.
That's just wild.
So here's what I did, folks. As much as I despise the MAGA folks out there that might waste $1,000 on
Hold on. Can you send that to me, Alio? Can you send that to me?
this, I did you a favor. Our Journey Together right now is listed on Amazon at $67.49. Liberal Privilege is listed on Amazon at $20.86.
It's not even worth
MAGA
that.
hats can be found online for as low as $8.99. But if you go to the official Trump store, they're $50 a pop. So even if we take it at the most expensive, those are the three items in this $1,000 bundle, the total cost would be $138.35 if you went out and bought all these things individually. So Trump is charging his supporters $861.64 for his autograph.
Right.
That's the grift, right? You take the cost of the materials, the markup for the signature, subtract the difference. $861.64 is what you're paying for Donald Trump to scribble his illegible signature on a book.
Is it done with a Sharpie, though?
If you've got it, I guess, why not, right? Why not go get your signed copy of Donald Trump's stupid little picture book?
Not only that, like, is he personally signing every single one of those? Or is it like a stamp of his signature? Right? Because like that we need to investigate this truly to see what value we're having here. Is Donald Trump personally signing each and every one of these picture books? And not only that, follow-up question, is it done with a Sharpie? It's not likely even a stamp. True.
You know, as the saying goes, a fool and their money are soon parted. And Donald Trump, better probably than anybody else on this planet, understands that. Because he has found every way humanly possible to separate fools from their money, and damn it, he is good at it. You know, I won't give Trump credit for anything other than the fact that he is probably the greatest con man grifter that we have ever seen in this country. Nobody has done it like him. Nobody can match this, right? What other politician do you know of that could pull off?
That's right, Batmanicure. His signature was on the stimmy checks. If you kept yours, you can just tape it on the book. There we go. There you go. You don't got to pay $1,000 for that. Or do. I don't really care.
Legacy Precious Metals is the company that I trust to give you good and patient counsel for investing. No clue how to fix it.
Whoa.
The big cultural and legal issues facing America.
Can't make here like diamonds or whatever.
To bring back my good friend Mike Lindell, who, of course, you know, has been the victim of cancel culture and all kinds
of cancel culture.
Threats, harassment, and all this kind of stuff from the left, but he refuses to back down from cancel culture. So we love talking to him. He's always so encouraging. But today I am so excited because he has a brand new product that I've been waiting for so long to introduce to all of you. So Mike, thanks so much for joining. And look, it's my copy.
Yes, it is my copy, everybody, and I'll tell you how that came about. You know, this is my new platform, mystore.com, everybody, not my pillow, mystore.com. It's for entrepreneurs, U.S. entrepreneurs, and or their USA products. Some stuff they can't make here like diamonds or whatever. But anyway, I tried this coffee, and I said to my Caitlin, my assistant, I said, where did this coffee? I said, do we change coffees? And she goes, oh, that's one of the entrepreneurs sent it in. It was so amazing. Then that was 4 months ago. I did my due diligence.
I kind of wish cancel culture was socially
Florida, and I find out that they've been in the business 15 years, kind of like think of it as a micro specialty brewery where they
They have fields in Honduras, and those fields, they go from the fields to the cup. And I learned more about coffee. I'm going, why does this taste better? Why is this have no aftertaste? And then I kept down. They go, and then people are really going to like this low acidity. And I'm asking why. And people want a non-GMO organic. I said well, that's what it has it all. And so they, and I told you about, I know maybe a month ago now, but this, then I had to find out, could they make enough for our country? Could they, and I basically partnered with, and they said, well, why is it my coffee if it's their entrepreneur? I want this as a driver to get people to my store and to get them the best product ever. And then also all the funds, everything that trickles down to me, everybody, goes right there to help save our country.
To help save our country? Oh man, the fleecing continues, folks. From a essentially on the brink of being financially destroyed person who has deluded themselves from reality, to Donald Trump selling picture books with a dubious signature at that, for $1,000. Honduras is one of the most expensive places in the world to get coffee. Sheesh. How much is he charging for this stuff?
So you get the best coffee ever, and it goes to the best places ever.
Everything that we love about America and patriotism and entrepreneurship and capitalism. This is so great. So that's what's really important. This is at mystore.com, and that's actually right on the landing page. I just checked it out this morning. Go to mystore.com, and there's so much more there. And Mike, you and I actually had an opportunity to see each other in Florida, and I was there when you were talking to the entrepreneurs. My dad was actually there, and I was talking to him last night when you texted me, it's finally ready. And he was so excited because he actually had an opportunity
due to political instability. Gotcha.
The coffee as well. And, he is one of those that is definitely a specialty kind of craft tea, craft coffee, kind of connoisseurs, and he loved it. So this isn't even just me, who everybody knows I love coffee. I thrive on coffee. That's like, if I don't have coffee, I don't function in the morning. But this was so great. And my dad also really loved meeting the two of them. And, it's this, just amazing duo, and they're so great. And so, so speak a little bit more into the entrepreneurship, because I think a lot of people who know My Pillow aren't as familiar with my store, and you're just doing so much, Mike, always to give back to people and to lift up Americans, to try to just promote the American dream. It's awesome.
Well, thank you. And by the way, use that promo code Jenna, everybody, to save 25% on this coffee. Let's put a plug in for you too. You guys, you're amazing. And let me tell you, my store was a dream of mine about 5 years ago, and I started it then, and it was going to be a platform, this amazing website for entrepreneurs, in our USA entrepreneurs and or USA products. So many times entrepreneurs, the pathway I've had to take, it's very common in all entrepreneurs. You maybe get your product and you put it up on Amazon, you get copied by China, and you're lost. Okay, maybe you can't afford ads on Mark Zuckerberg's Facebook, or he changes the rules, and then you lose out there. Or Google, you get your product.
Like 5 seconds ago, she was just saying, like, well, you represent what's the best about capitalism, and then immediately goes to complain about capitalism. That's capitalism, dude. Did this clown trademark the word "my"? I don't know. That's a good question.
Your website.
Join me at my stream. This is the best political stream. Join me at my stream. May the deep dish keep you. That's an interesting username. Howdy. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that.
Buy your AdWords above you because they have more money. In our entrepreneurs, or
yes, that's capitalism. You can't simultaneously be like, well, this is what makes our this is what makes capitalism great, and then proceeds to like complain about capitalism. Okay, makes sense.
You're out there in the trenches doing home shows and fairs, and they steal your idea and copy your patent, and you don't have the money to fight it. So this was my dream, and I spent a couple millions of dollars getting it ready. But then, of course, the 2020 election came along, and my whole thing went, you know what? We're not going to have a country anyway if we don't get rid of these machines and correct our voting things. And so that's been my focus. But now,
and of course, the election conspiracy nonsense, which to date has no proof whatsoever of machines being wrong or changing answers or whatever, changing votes. In fact, he's right now in the middle of a potentially $1 billion lawsuit. So this guy's desperate. He's gonna try to push anything and everything. I mean, he's on the cusp of losing everything, which is hilarious. That's a good meme. Looney Tunes Daffy Duck saying mine. Yeah.
Oh, it's worked out this spring now, since everything was ready, the website to launch my store. We have hundreds and hundreds of, and soon to be thousands of products on there. So when you get there, you'll have my copy, you have paint, just all these different ideas and innovative products. And
he doesn't post the grades or anything. He legit has a certificate of excellence, which I wish I could see what it was for. Yeah, it's hard to see.
You can apply your product, but one thing is the product needs to be ready. It needs to be ready, and you need to have it. It's not a. Hey, here's a site where I have time to go help you develop your product. That's not what this is about. You have the USA Inventors Association. You have other outlets to do that. This is people that have invented their product. They have it ready to go. Here's how many I have to sell, and it's been amazing so far.
Yeah, so he's basically arguing, or basically advocating to make his own platform that sells other people's stuff. And that's it.
The last month, it's very exciting, and having all these platforms like the My Store and then my Lindell Recovery Network for addicts, and I've kind of took all these now, and we're going to have them all at Frank Speech at the app. Frank Speech, you go to the App Store at Frank Speech, you get it. We're going to have all the kind of like these separate websites, all 1 through 10. So it's going to be a one-stop shop for everybody. If you have someone in addiction, you have the My Pillow thing, or the My Pillow website. You'll
My
have the
Pillow
My Store
thing.
Website. You'll have it's
look
it's
how
kind of like a problem solution.
look how
And then, by
much
the
he
way,
believes
everybody,
in his product.
The entrepreneurs, if you go to my store, if you scroll down, there's stories. Each one of them, Jenna, has their own story within a story, so they get to tell their story.
All MAGA people should know it should be Michael Fefe. True. Not only that. Hey, listen. I'm an American entrepreneur. Okay, I am an American entrepreneur, and I want to sell leftist literature made by me here in America. And I want to sell leftist themed t-shirts, completely 100% made here in America. I wonder if he'll allow that, Mr. Free Speech, Freedom Warrior. I wonder if that's what he actually believes. If he does believe in American entrepreneurism or whatever. I'm going to sell American-made leftist literature and t-shirts, themed t-shirts, graphic tees or whatever. Yeah, made here in America. I will make them by hand myself, and I will apply at my store. it's if I could sell it.
They came up with this, whatever the invention would be, and they're so interesting. Anybody out there, just go there. You've never seen a website like
yeah,
it.
there's like Jesus, and then there's like a lion next to him. Is that a picture supposed to be a lion in front of Jesus? Yeah, there's like a lion right next to him or in front of him, I guess.
You can read about what's behind this product. Why did you reinvent it? One of them on there is a bungee cord. I'm going, why did you reinvent a bungee cord? Well, there's a reason for it. It's amazing, And it's like, why did I reinvent the pillow? Because there was big problems with what we already had. And
what is he going on about?
So I'm very very happy we were able to finally get this off the ground.
Yeah, I'm so proud of you, Mike. And this is the collaboration of American ingenuity. And, America is really we are the innovators. We are the ones who, we're the first to do so many things. And with the platforms that we have, like My Store, and with people like you who are willing to promote and help platform all of these entrepreneurs,
yeah, like I said, I'm going to see if he will, if you will allow American entrepreneurship for leftist stuff. He needs an invention. He is way off. An intervention. He's way off his rocker. Yeah, I agree. I honestly think there's like a level of desperation here because he knows he's screwed. He's facing a literal $1 billion lawsuit and on the cusp of losing everything if he loses. So, yeah, that kind of makes somebody desperate, right? Like, he not only has doubled down, he's quadrupled, quintupled down on this idea. Essentially digging his own grave deeper and deeper, right? Mike Lindell's wearing a cross on his neck. Mike's my neck. Drew.
Amazing ideas can actually come to fruition, and that is part of the American dream, and it's amazing. And so, here at the Salem Podcast Network, we're so proud to collaborate with you and to make sure that we always promote your products, so that we can make sure to continue to encourage people to buy American, buy Christian, buy from people.
Oh, I see. Buy American, buy Christian. Ah, I see. So you actually only care about one side of things. Supposedly, he used to be somewhat normal until a Christo-fascist cult family got their hooks into him. Yikes.
Whose ideals are exactly what theirs are as well. Because I know so many people are looking for alternatives to all of these woke corporations that maybe have some decent products, but they know that there are places like my store now, even more than my.
Anyways, that's enough of that garbage.
Crap like this. And I guarantee you he's going to sell out. I don't mean like, I'm a sellout. He is. But he'll sell out of these. Like, his MAGA freak folks will, in fact, shell out $1,000 for this garbage.
Yeah, it's a cult, definitely.
They'll put it on their credit cards if they have to. They'll make monthly payments if they have to. Whatever they have to do to get the book. Because they love him that much. And Donald Trump, in the meantime, is laughing all the way to the bank as his supporters mortgage their future.
True. They broke him and then discarded him because they did too good of a job. Jesus.
Just for a tiny piece of overpriced Trump memorabilia. Hey everyone, this is Aspen. And did you know that for the low cost of $0...
That's cute. That's cute. All right, folks, we got one more article. Georgia Republican Representative Jody Heiss on Monday asked a federal judge to quash a subpoena demanding his testimony before a state special grand jury that is investigating former President Trump for a possible criminal interference in the state during the 2020 election. The same grand jury in Atlanta previously was known to have subpoenaed other Trump allies, among them Senator Lindsey Graham, who likewise asked a federal judge in his home state to quash that demand. Good luck. The subpoena for Heiss, which issued on June 29th, did not become widely known until Monday, when a motion by its attorney seeking to have matters released related to the subpoena be heard in federal court first became public. The subpoena called for Heiss to appear on Tuesday before the Fulton grand jury, but that appearance was postponed until a federal judge has time to address Heiss's motion to quash, according to a notice in the U.S. District Court of Northern District of Georgia. The notice said that the delay was agreed to by Heiss's lawyer in the Fulton County District Attorney's Office, which is presenting evidence to the grand jury. A hearing on Heiss's motion to quash was set for July 25th in Atlanta federal court. Heiss's lawyer, Laurie Ann Paradise, in a court filing argued that the grand jury subpoena violates the Constitution's speech or debate clause because it appears related to Congressman Heiss's inquiries into alleged irregularities in the 2020 election, the Constitution, and implementing state statute charges. Congress was certifying the results of a presidential election. Congressman Heiss was asking squarely within his congressional jurisdiction and his actions may not be questioned in any legal proceeding. Yeah, we'll see about that. So for $1,000, get the book bundle, and then $4,000 for the other rally. Yeah. That's right. We only need maybe if we do like 100 of these hype trains, we'll be able to afford this. Okay, so dig deep, folks. Help me obtain the signature. I'm kidding. Heist backed Trump's effort to overturn President Biden's victory in Georgia's 2020 presidential vote on the heels of January 6th insurrection, during which a horde of Trump supporters invaded the halls of Congress. Heist voted against certifying Biden's victory. In May, Heist lost a primary race in which he sought to replace Georgia's Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, for the party's nominee for that office in November in midterm elections. Ha! Loser. Raffensperger resisted a direct request from Trump to help him find enough votes to reverse Biden's victory. Yeah, like that alone is completely improper. Completely improper. That's an apt word, yeah? That's completely improper, and that alone should be enough, you know? Heist was subpoenaed by the Fulton County Grand Jury on June 29th. According to the notice from Paradise, it was not clear why Heist waited weeks after the subpoena was issued to have his lawyer move to quash it. CNBC has requested comments from Paradise, which is the lawyer. Yeah, well, we'll see if any of these folks have any see any consequences, but I mean, like, the evidence of these alleged election crimes are there, right? For all the bravado and noise that the Republican Party was making about, like, the Democrats making this intricate conspiracy theory about, like, election manipulation or whatever, actually it was all them the entire time. Every single accusation is turned effectively into a confession with these people. Same thing. Same thing. All right, folks. We've got to head on out of here. I do appreciate every single one of you guys for hanging out. Hey, where did my overlay go? There we go. I do want to... Trump said my election, my presidency. Yep. Well, too bad. I do appreciate everyone hanging out here. If you guys enjoy the content, don't forget to hit the follow button. It is free. It does give you 5 free emotes. And of course, if you can, spread the word far and wide that this is the chillest place to be for politics, Monday through Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Join us for Saturdays, usually Saturdays, around noon to 1 p.m. Eastern Time. If not, we can switch it to Sundays. We'll see about that depending on our schedule. So just keep in touch. Join the Discord if you guys need to keep up with the channel or any messages that I need to send out. Head on over to the YouTube channel. I see a couple of you guys have already hit the subscribe button. We're at 192. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the support that you guys have given. You guys are what makes this channel grow. Thank you so much to all the supporters, all the new follows. We've got Mayhem Hippie with the two tier 1 subs, Hamather with the tier 1 on a 4-month streak, Mayhem Hippie with 500 biddies, and Troma for 5 months, Wizzy with the 100 biddies, Maple Leaf Dragon with 400 biddies, Mayhem Hippie again with 700 biddies, Maple Leaf Dragon 100 biddies again, Wizzy with 100 biddies, Mayhem with 100 biddies, Fitz Fartling Shaft with the follow, Maple Leaf Dragon subscribing for 6 months, Alio with the 10 biddies, Mayhem with the 150 biddies, Maple Leaf Dragon with the 1,000 biddies, Mayhem with the Prime on a 5-month streak. Oh my goodness. Jesus. Whew. Thank you guys so much for all the support. I appreciate it. As always, folks, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. See ya. Appreciate it, Echo Wrestler Dragon. All right, let's head on over to Surfer McGrady. We haven't seen them in a while. All right, folks. We are heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See ya.